Formula One is on a 4-week break right now, and I've been doing fine. Let's take a look at what the drivers have been doing in the autumn break. Lewis Hamilton has been made a co-chair at the Met Gala. If you don't know what the Met Gala is, it's where Harvey Weinstein used to go window shopping for his next victim. Fun. Fashion is self-preservation. Fashion is resilience. And I can't wait to further explore and amplify our underrepresented voices. Yes, Lewis! He's going to amplify marginalised black voices like P. Diddy. Goddamn. Well, he is currently being marginalised because he's in jail, but before he was thrown in jail, he also attended the Met Gala and a few other parties with Lewis Hamilton. What do you know, Lewis? I grew up watching and listening to my man, Puff.
You fat Puff.
I appreciate you, bro, for all you do. All of it. All 1,000 bottles of baby oil and 784 dildos that the FBI seized from his house. How many of those dildos have been up Lewis Hamilton's arse? Probably more than one. For being a goat and always showing love. God bless. Hashtag Puff. Hashtag King. Hashtag Goat. Hashtag you're friends with a human trafficker, but we all make mistakes. So while Lewis has been sinking even deeper into the satanic pedophile-infested swamp that is the fashion industry, what have the other drivers been doing? Max Verstappen spent the last 4 weeks playing iRacing, as you'd expect. And one moment I thought was particularly interesting is when they were talking about their Minecraft server. Yeah, that's right. Maxipad Verstappen, a 3-time Formula 1 champion of the world, plays Minecraft.
You see that? A mine stream when?
A Minecraft stream?
A Minecraft?
Well, the problem is, my pickaxe is fucked.
we could show the chat
No, but the Minecraft stream.
No, we can't
good.
do that. That's
our big house.
We built
a luxury mansion.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that you can show on that server.
I'm going to be honest. Actually, I'm not sure we can even show that.
Sleeping halls, girls, boy. You literally made incinerator. Oh my fucking god! You built Auschwitz on our mine.
It's an amusement.
You built Auschwitz on our Minecraft server.
Hey.
I was gonna build like a fucking farm here, and you built Auschwitz.
Alright, that is pretty wild, but it's nothing compared to Osama bin Russell's Minecraft server. Okay, that's enough bullshit for one episode. Can we get to the Formula 1 business, please? Damn it! They're fucking mouldy. I don't care. Right, let's start with some mathematics. There are now 6 races left in the 2024 season, 3 of which are sprint race weekends. Maxipad Verstappen has a 52-point lead over Pando Porris in the World Championship, so what that means mathematically, if Pando Porris wins every single race, plus he wins all the sprint races, plus he gets all the extra points for the fastest laps, plus he achieves a ceasefire in Gaza, providing Maxipad finishes second, Pando will still lose the World Championship by exactly 1 point. Mathematics. That does seem like quite a lot to overcome. However, at the last race in Singapore, Pando crossed the line 21 seconds ahead of Maxipad, and at one point was 30 seconds ahead until he almost completely bottled it at turn 14.
Lock up. And he brushes the barrier. That was so close to the end of his Grand Prix.
And he lost a bunch of time when he went wide trying to overtake a back marker, and then almost completely twatted it when he clipped the wall on the outside of turn 10. That's the same mistake that took Osama bin Russell out of the race last season.
Norris, oh, did he tap the wall? Was that a Russell moment? Remember, Norris did this on the final. Oh, my word.
What is going on?
But despite his attempts to bottle it, he still achieved a crushing victory over Maxipad Verstappen. At the race before Singapore in Azerbaijan, he bottled it in qualifying and lined up 15th on the grid, with Max in 6th, but still managed to catch him in the race, and with 3 laps to go, sends it down the outside into the first corner and finishes ahead of Maxipad. And this was the same race Red Bull lost the lead of the constructors to McLaren thanks to Perez and Sainz twatting each other into the barriers. Remember in the last video, we calculated Perez has done $3.4 million worth of damage? Yeah, that number is now $4.5 million. To put that in perspective, Logan Sargent, who was fired mid-season because he couldn't stop smashing the car to pieces, he was the winner of Now That's a Lot of Damage of the Year in last season's RPM's unofficial but still really important prize-giving ceremony. And he won that prestigious award with a season total of $4.3 million. So Perez has already eclipsed that number with 6 races still to go in the season.
Put a bullet in my head and kill me right now. Do it.
So Red Bull are now second in the Constructors' Championship. Maxipad still has a decent lead over Pando Porras, but now hasn't won a race in 4 months, 9 races ago. McLaren have so much pace that Pando Porras can be a complete bottle job and still finish ahead of Maxipad. So even with a fat gap in the championship and only 6 races left in the season, everybody is taking heavy doses of hopium. Why Lando Norris will beat Max Verstappen in the F1 World Championship. Lando Norris back to beat Max Verstappen to F1 title by world champion. Verstappen fears F1 title defeat. Max Verstappen is losing his head. Is he about to lose the title? Male frogs may be turning female thanks to estrogen in suburban waste.
So you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn...
But then Formula One arrived in the USA for the first of the final 6 races. You might not have noticed they were in America with all of the pictures of the drivers wearing cowboy hats and the cheerleaders on the broadcast and the track parades in the pickup trucks and the cringy Sky Sports F1 segments. I mean, Jesus Christ. Why don't you do something properly American? Like invade the Middle East, or murder the president, or have an abortion with an AR-15.
I'm gonna come.
After the facade was over, we went car racing. And like I explained earlier with my diagram, Pando Porras has to win the race, plus win the sprint race, plus get the extra point for the fastest lap, plus achieve a ceasefire in Gaza. So did he do any of those things? No. For the sprint race, he lined up 4th on the grid with Verstappen on pole position. And unlike everything else he's ever done in his entire life, he didn't completely bottle the start. He sends it down the inside into the first corner and then sends it around the outside of Osama bin Russell and gets up into 2nd place. Yes, this is the level of aggression we need to keep the championship alive. Now he can set off after Verstappen, win the sprint race, close the championship gap to 50 points, and then begin brokering a peacekeeping deal with Benjamin Netanyahu. Unfortunately, he locks up into the first corner, handing 2nd place to Carlos Sainz, and then barely managed to hold on to 3rd place ahead of Charles Leclerc. Alright, that was less than ideal. The championship gap now increases to 54 points, and the IDF launched an airstrike on Lebanon. But we still have the big race on Sunday, and this time, Pando lines up on pole position. That was mainly thanks to Osama bin Russell performing his own airstrike into the barriers while Maxipad was on a purple sector in qualifying. Thank you, Osama. So now Lando has to win this race, or the championship is basically over, and then Iran will escalate this into a full-blown thermonuclear war. So what did Pando Porras do at the first corner of the opening lap?
Down the inside though goes Max Verstappen. Lando Norris gets forced wide. Through goes the Ferrari. It's Charles Leclerc.
Are you trying to start a thermonuclear war? You inconsiderate pig! He leaves the door wide open for Maxipad to slam his cock down the inside, who then obviously forces him off the track. That allows both Ferraris past and drops Lando into 4th place. Do you know what that means statistically? It means out of the 6 times Pando Porras has lined up on pole position, he's lost the lead on the opening lap 5 of those times. At the Spanish Grand Prix, he lined up on pole position, but then dropped down to 3rd at the first corner. At the Hungarian Grand Prix, he lined up on pole position, but then dropped down to 3rd at the first corner. Narrowly avoided dropping down to 4th behind Lewis Hamilton. At the Dutch Grand Prix, he lined up on pole position, but then handed the lead of the race to Maxipad before they even got to the first corner. At the Italian Grand Prix, he lined up on pole position, but then did not fuck it at the first corner. Instead, he bottled it at the second corner, where his teammate, Oscar Piastri, said, "Fuck your championship," and sent it down the outside. That compromised his run out of the chicane, so he then gets overtaken by Charles Leclerc and drops down to 3rd place. At the Singapore Grand Prix, this was the only time in the season that he started from pole position and did not lose the lead on the opening lap. but then almost completely bottled it twice while he was leading the race by 20 seconds with zero pressure from behind. And now with the last race in America, that makes it 5 out of 6 first lap bottles. Let me explain something, and this is going to be very hard for the Lando fangirls to hear. So, ladies, you might want to go outside for 5 minutes and chase a butterfly. Remember when Porras did an interview and said that Lewis Hamilton should be winning every single race because he has the fastest car? Yeah, well, let me explain something, you disrespectful little shit. This is the final lap of the 2021 US Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen crossed the line within a second of each other, but both of them were 40 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. 40 seconds. This is the final lap of the 2021 Qatar Grand Prix, where Lewis Hamilton crossed the line 28 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen pitted at the end of the race to go for the fastest lap, but before he pitted on lap 55, he was 8 seconds behind Lewis. Both of them were 50 seconds ahead of the field. 50 seconds. This is the final lap of the 2021 Bahrain Grand Prix, and once again, they were both within a second of each other, but ahead of the field by 39 seconds, despite the fact they spent most of that race knocking 7 bells of shite out of each other. And this was a regular occurrence across that incredible 2021 season. When Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were not trying to kill each other, they were giving the rest of the grid a masterclass in what it takes to be a world champion. Devastating pace, ruthless consistency, attempted murders. And they were doing this while their teammates were nowhere to be seen. When Nicholas Latifi fucked into the barriers in Abu Dhabi, Hamilton was leading that race by 12 seconds. But Valtteri Bottas was 70 seconds behind him in the same car. That should be illegal. And this was also a regular occurrence. While Max and Lewis were disappearing into an alternative dimension, their teammates in the same car were nowhere to be seen. Do you know what that proves? It's not just the car. The only reason Max Verstappen is still leading the World Championship is because Lewis Hamilton is not driving that McLaren. Okay, Pando, you disrespectful little shit. You have now had the fastest car on the grid for 2/3 of the season. Pole position 6 times, but have only converted that into 3 race wins. Fucking Ferrari have 4 wins this season, one of which came at the Italian Grand Prix, where they literally forgot to pit Charles Leclerc for the 2nd time and accidentally put him on a race-winning one-stop strategy. That is when Ferrari is at their best, is when they just forget to strategy. And then last weekend in America, after Pando had bottled the first lap, as per, Ferrari just fucked off into the distance and got a 1-2 finish, which nobody seems to be able to explain. McLaren brought massive upgrades to America, as did Mercedes, which worked well. Ferrari had no upgrades, but still somehow had the fastest car. You see, this is the classic Ferrari bipolar experience. They win the Monaco Grand Prix, and then at the next race have a double DNF. They win the Italian Grand Prix, and then at the next race get Hamassed into the barriers. And then at the next race Hamass themselves into the barriers. But then at the next race achieve a 1-2 finish for no obvious reason.
Yes! 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 No! 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 Fuck! Yes! 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 No! No! Yes! 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 I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
So congratulations, Ferrari. You have taken decades off the end of my life because of this roller coaster of emotions. Now we need to talk about the controversial moment. After Pando completely bottled the start of the race as per, he did manage to catch Verstappen in the closing stages. But instead of making a decisive overtake for those critical championship points, he spent 5 laps being taught a lesson in defensive driving. Lap after lap, Verstappen placed his car perfectly, allowing nowhere for Pando to throw his cock. And when he did get close enough for a robust exchange, Verstappen drove him off the track. Pando completes the overtake anyway, and then gets a 5-second penalty, which drops him back behind Verstappen. You see, this is a 5,000 IQ defensive strategy. People are now debating, and when I say debating, I mean screaming at each other on social media, about if the overtaking regulations are fair and reasonable. What the regulations basically say is, if car ahead at apex, other car go fuck itself. And MaxiPad understands these regulations very well. So when a car tries to overtake him round the outside, he forces them off the track and they either concede, complete the overtake and get a 5-second penalty, or die. It's a bit like a Forza online lobby. You see, this is me playing Forza, and as you can see from this moment, I am way too far back to go for a move on the car ahead. But this is an online lobby, so obviously I'm going for the move. I achieve a full send down the inside, and as you can see from this moment, I am clearly ahead at the apex. So even though we make contact and I force him off the track and get the position, I do not get a penalty. Fair and reasonable. So the FIA are just playing with the online lobby rules, which I think is fun, but somebody is probably going to die.
Perez goes off the track, cuts the chicane, off goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton.
Whatever you think about the overtaking regulations and MaxiPad's defensive strategies, it worked. Because with Pando finishing behind MaxiPad, the championship gap increases to 57 points. And now there's only 5 races left in the season. So congratulations, Max Verstappen, on being the 2024 world champion. That is quite an incredible achievement, actually. Becoming a 4-time world champion puts MaxiPad in a very exclusive club with only 2 other drivers, Sebastian Vettel and Alain Prost. But unlike those 2 drivers, MaxiPad achieved his success while spending most of his time playing Minecraft. That kind of does make it more impressive.
My pickaxe is fucked.
You built Auschwitz!